The towering skyscrapers of downtown cast long shadows across the bustling streets below, their glass facades reflecting the early morning sun. Among these architectural giants stood the Apex Corporation building, its sleek design a testament to modern ambition and corporate success. It was here, on the 37th floor, that my story began to unfold. I'm Olivia Parker, a 28-year-old marketing executive, and I had been with Apex for 5 years. My journey from an eager intern to a respected team member was marked by dedication, late nights, and an unwavering drive to succeed. I was known for my innovative campaign ideas and ability to connect with clients, traits that hadn't gone unnoticed by my superiors. As I stepped out of the elevator that morning, I scanned the open-plan office with my emerald eyes. The space buzzed with activity, the click-clack of keyboards, the low murmur of phone conversations, and the whir of the high-end coffee machine in the corner. I made my way to my desk, nodding greetings to my colleagues as I passed. Settling into my ergonomic chair, I booted up my computer and began sorting through my emails. As I scrolled, a notification popped up on my screen, a meeting request from the CEO, Alexander Drake. My heart skipped a beat. A direct meeting with the CEO was rare, often signaling significant news. Alexander Drake was a force in the corporate world. At 35, he was one of the youngest CEOs in the industry, known for his charisma, sharp business acumen, and ability to charm both clients and employees alike. I had always admired him from afar, drawn to his confidence and the energy he brought to every room he entered. As the day progressed, I found myself glancing at the clock, anticipation building for my 3 p.m. meeting. I threw myself into my work, finalizing a pitch for a new client, but my mind kept wandering to what Alexander might want to discuss. At 2:55 p.m., I stood before the full-length mirror in the office bathroom, smoothing down my pencil skirt and adjusting my blouse. I took a deep breath, steadying my nerves before making my way to the executive floor. Alexander's office was a testament to his success. Floor-to-ceiling windows offered a panoramic view of the city, while modern art adorned the walls. As I entered, he rose from behind his imposing desk, a warm smile on his face. "Olivia, thank you for coming," he said, his voice rich and smooth. "Please have a seat." As I sat down, I couldn't help but notice the way his eyes lingered on me, a mixture of admiration and something else I couldn't quite place. He began to speak about my recent achievements, praising my work ethic and creativity. With each compliment, I felt a warmth spreading through my chest, a combination of pride and growing attraction. As the meeting progressed, our conversation shifted from work to more personal topics. Alexander asked about my background, my aspirations, and my thoughts on the company's future. I found myself opening up, drawn in by his genuine interest and the ease with which he put me at comfort. It was during this conversation that I first noticed the subtle changes in his body language. The way he leaned in slightly when I spoke, the brief touches on my arm as he emphasized a point, the intensity in his gaze that made my pulse quicken. There was an undeniable chemistry building between us, a tension that crackled in the air like electricity. As the meeting drew to a close, Alexander stood up, moving around his desk to stand closer to me. "I've been watching your progress for a while now, Olivia," he said, his voice low and intimate. "I see great potential in you. I think it's time we discussed your future here at Apex." My heart raced as I looked up at him. The air between us felt charged, heavy with unspoken possibilities. I knew this moment could change everything: my career, my life, and the delicate balance I had maintained between my professional and personal worlds. As days turned into weeks, I found myself spending more time with Alexander. What started as extended meetings and working late on projects together soon evolved into shared lunches and brief, seemingly accidental encounters in the office. Each interaction left me feeling both exhilarated and conflicted. The sexual tension continued to build, manifesting in lingering glances across the conference room, subtle touches that sent shivers down my spine, and conversations laden with double meanings. I found myself daydreaming about him, imagining scenarios where our professional relationship crossed into more intimate territory. However, as my attraction to Alexander grew, so did my anxiety about the potential consequences. I was acutely aware of the power dynamics at play. I had worked hard to get where I was, and didn't want to jeopardize my career or reputation. The fear of being seen as someone who slept her way to the top haunted me, even as I struggled to resist my growing feelings for him. One evening, as I worked late to finish a crucial presentation, Alexander stopped by my desk. The office was nearly empty, the silence broken only by the soft hum of the air conditioning. He suggested we review the presentation together in his office, his hand resting lightly on my shoulder as he spoke. In the privacy of his office, with the city lights twinkling beyond the windows, the atmosphere between us shifted. As we went through the slides, he moved closer, his arm brushing against mine. I could feel the heat radiating from his body, smell his expensive cologne, and it took all my willpower to focus on the task at hand. As we reached the end of the presentation, Alexander turned to face me fully. "Olivia," he began, his voice husky with emotion, "I think we both know there's something happening between us." He reached out, his fingers gently tracing the line of my jaw. "I can't stop thinking about you." My breath caught in my throat. I knew this was the moment of truth, the point of no return. Every fiber of my being yearned to give in to the desire that had been building for weeks. But the rational part of my mind screamed caution, reminding me of all I had to lose. "Alexander," I whispered, my voice trembling, we can't. It's not professional. What about the company, our careers?" His eyes softened, but the intensity of his gaze didn't waver. "I know it's complicated, Olivia, but what I feel for you, it's more than just attraction. I'm willing to figure this out to make it work if you are." As I looked into his eyes, I saw sincerity, desire, and a promise of something more. In that moment, standing on the precipice of a decision that could alter the course of my life, I knew I had to make a choice. Would I take the risk and follow my heart, or would I retreat to the safety of professional boundaries? The weight of the decision pressed down on me, the possibilities of what could be warring with the potential consequences. As the city lights twinkled beyond the window, bearing silent witness to this pivotal moment, I took a deep breath, ready to make my choice. The moment hung in the air, pregnant with possibility. My heart raced as I looked into Alexander's eyes, seeing the mixture of desire and vulnerability there. In that instant, I made my decision. With a soft exhale, I leaned forward, closing the distance between us. Our lips met in a kiss that was both tender and electric. It was as if all the tension that had been building between us for months was finally released. Alexander's arms encircled me, pulling me closer as the kiss deepened. I felt dizzy with desire, my body responding to his touch in ways I had only imagined. As we pulled apart, both breathless, reality began to seep back in. My mind raced with the implications of what we had just done. Alexander, sensing my turmoil, gently cupped my face in his hands. "We'll figure this out together," he promised, his voice low and reassuring. "I want to do this right, Olivia. You mean too much to me to risk everything on a moment of passion." His words calmed me somewhat, but the complexity of our situation wasn't lost on either of us. We agreed to take things slow, to be discreet, and to prioritize our professional responsibilities above all else. In the weeks that followed, Alexander and I embarked on a delicate balancing act. At work, we maintained a facade of strict professionalism, our interactions cordial but distant. But behind closed doors in his office after hours, in hidden corners of upscale restaurants, in the privacy of our homes, we explored the depths of our growing feelings for each other. Our relationship was intense, fueled by the thrill of secrecy and the genuine connection we shared. Alexander was unlike any man I had ever known. He challenged me intellectually, supported my ambitions, and made me feel desired in ways I had never experienced before. For his part, Alexander found in me a partner who matched his drive and understood the pressures of his position. However, maintaining our secret wasn't easy. The constant vigilance and fear of discovery began to take their toll. I found myself second-guessing every interaction, paranoid that my colleagues might suspect something. I worried about my professional reputation and about being seen as someone who had slept her way to the top. These fears came to a head when rumors began to circulate in the office. Whispers about my special treatment and my frequent meetings with the CEO reached my ears. While nothing could be proven, the atmosphere at work became tense. I felt the weight of scrutiny from my colleagues, their gazes following me as I moved through the office. One day, as I was working late, my colleague and friend, Sophia, approached my desk. "Liv, can we talk?" she asked, her expression serious. My stomach knotted with anxiety as I nodded. Sophia didn't mince words. "There are rumors, Olivia, about you and Mr. Drake. I've defended you, but is there any truth to them?" I felt my world tilting. I wanted to confide in her, to unburden myself of the secret I'd been carrying. But I also knew that admitting the truth could have far-reaching consequences. In the end, I chose a half-truth. "Sophia, I appreciate your concern. Mr. Drake has been mentoring me on a special project. That's all. You know how people love to gossip." The lie tasted bitter on my tongue, but I saw no other choice. Sophia seemed relieved, but not entirely convinced. As she walked away, I felt a wave of guilt wash over me. I had just lied to one of my closest friends, and it made me question everything about my relationship with Alexander. That night, as I lay in bed, my phone buzzed with a message from him. "Missing you. Dinner tomorrow." The words, once a source of excitement, now filled me with conflict. I loved Alexander. Of that I was certain. But was our relationship worth the cost to my integrity, my friendships, my professional reputation? The next day, I requested a meeting with Alexander in his office. As I entered, I saw the smile on his face fade as he registered my serious expression. "We need to talk," I began, my voice steady despite the turmoil in my heart. "Alexander, I love you. But this, it's affecting everything. There are rumors, my friends are asking questions. I had to lie to Sophia yesterday, and it made me feel horrible." Alexander listened intently, his brow furrowed with concern. When I finished, he stood up and moved around his desk to stand in front of me. "Olivia, I'm so sorry. I never wanted to put you in this position. Your career, your reputation, they're important to me. You're important to me." He took my hands in his touch sending familiar sparks through my body. "What do you want to do?" he asked softly. I took a deep breath. I think we need to take a step back. Figure out how to handle this professionally before we go any further personally." The pain in his eyes was evident, but he nodded. "That's what you need, I understand. But Olivia, please know that my feelings for you haven't changed. When you're ready, if you're ever ready, I'll be here." As I left his office, I felt a mixture of relief and heartache. I knew I had made the right decision for my career, but the emotional cost was high. The next few weeks were challenging as we both adjusted to our new dynamic. The tension between us was palpable, but we maintained our professionalism. During this time, I threw myself into my work with renewed vigor. I took on additional projects, stayed late at the office, and volunteered for assignments that would showcase my skills. My colleagues noticed the change, and slowly, the rumors began to die down. One particular project caught my attention, a high-stakes marketing campaign for a major tech company. It was a chance to prove myself, to show everyone that I had earned my position through talent and hard work. I poured everything I had into the project, working tirelessly to create an innovative and compelling campaign. As the deadline for the pitch approached, I found myself working late into the night, refining every detail. It was during one of these late nights that Alexander stopped by my desk. For a moment, it felt like old times, the two of us alone in the office, the city lights twinkling beyond the windows. "How's the campaign coming along?" he asked, his voice professional, but tinged with warmth. I looked up, meeting his gaze. "It's good. I think we have a real shot at landing this account." He nodded, a small smile playing on his lips. "I have no doubt. You're the best we have, Olivia. This company is lucky to have you." The sincerity in his words touched me deeply. In that moment, I realized that despite everything, Alexander truly respected me as a professional. It wasn't just about our personal relationship, he genuinely believed in my abilities. As he turned to leave, I called out to him, "Alexander, wait." He paused, looking back at me expectantly. "Thank you. I said softly, for believing in me, for giving me the space I needed. I miss you. His expression softened, his eyes filled with emotion. I miss you too, Olivia. More than you know. We stood there for a moment, the air between us charged with unspoken feelings. Then, slowly, Alexander stepped closer. Olivia, he said, his voice low. I know we agreed to take a step back, but I can't stop thinking about you, about us. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this work professionally and personally. My heart raced. I knew that this was another crossroads, another moment that could change everything. But this time, I felt more prepared, more certain of what I wanted. I want that too, I admitted, my voice barely above a whisper. But we need to do this right. No more secrets, no more hiding. He nodded, reaching out to take my hand. Agreed. We'll figure it out together. Starting with HR tomorrow, we'll disclose our relationship, set clear boundaries at work. Your career is your own, Olivia. I want to support you, not overshadow you. As we stood there, hands intertwined, I felt a sense of hope blossoming in my chest. I knew there would be challenges ahead of this gossip, potential accusations of favoritism, the delicate balance of our personal and professional lives. But looking into Alexander's eyes, I also knew that we were strong enough to face whatever came our way. The next morning, as I prepared to head into the office, I felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. Today was the day we would officially disclose our relationship to HR. It was a big step, one that would change the dynamic at work irrevocably. But as I thought about Alexander, about the future we could build together, I knew it was worth the risk. As I stepped into the elevator, my phone buzzed with a message from him ready for this. I smiled, typing back a quick response ready. Together. The elevator doors closed, carrying me up towards a new chapter in my life, one filled with challenges, opportunities, and the promise of a love worth fighting for. The morning sun cast long shadows across the Apex Corporation building as Alexander and I stepped into the HR department. The gravity of the moment wasn't lost on either of us, as we sat down across from Patricia Hawkins, the stern-faced head of human resources. Patricia's expression remained impassive as we disclosed our relationship. Her sharp, assessing gaze moved between us as we explained the situation, emphasizing our commitment to maintaining professionalism in the workplace. After we finished speaking, Patricia leaned back in her chair, her fingers steepled under her chin. The silence that followed was thick with tension. Finally, she spoke, her voice measured and clinical. She outlined the company's policies regarding inter-office relationships, particularly those involving significant power differentials. The terms conflict of interest and potential liability hung heavy in the air. While the company didn't expressly forbid such relationships, Patricia made it clear that the situation would require careful management. She proposed a series of measures. I would be reassigned to a different department to avoid direct reporting to Alexander. All my performance reviews and promotion considerations would be handled by a committee rather than Alexander alone. And both of us would need to sign additional ethics agreements. As we left the HR office, I felt a mix of relief and apprehension. The immediate hurdle had been cleared, but I knew that the real challenges were just beginning. The news of our relationship spread through the office like wildfire, and I could feel the weight of my colleagues' stares as I walked to my new desk in the product development department. The following weeks tested both my professional skills and personal resilience. In my new role, I had to quickly adapt to different projects and team dynamics. Some colleagues were supportive, others coldly professional, and a few openly resentful, viewing my reassignment as preferential treatment. I threw myself into my work, determined to prove my worth beyond any connection to Alexander. I volunteered for challenging projects, put in long hours, and consistently delivered high-quality work. Slowly but surely, I began to win over my new teammates with my dedication and innovative ideas. Meanwhile, Alexander faced his own set of challenges. As CEO, he had to maintain the delicate balance between his personal life and his responsibilities to the company. He was acutely aware of the scrutiny he was under, not just from employees, but from the board of directors as well. Despite the professional distance we now had to maintain at work, our relationship continued to deepen. We found moments of connection in shared lunches, subtle glances across conference rooms, and evenings spent discussing our days over home-cooked meals. The challenges we faced seemed to strengthen our bond, each obstacle overcome a testament to our commitment to each other. As months passed, my hard work in my new role began to pay off. My innovative approach to product development caught the attention of senior management, and I was asked to lead a high-profile project that could potentially open up a new market for the company. The project was demanding, requiring long hours and pushing me to the limits of my skills. There were nights when I found myself alone in the office, surrounded by whiteboards covered in flowcharts and sticky notes filled with ideas. During one of these late nights, I had a breakthrough, stumbling upon a unique approach that could set our product apart from the competition. Excited by my discovery, my first instinct was to share it with Alexander. However, I hesitated, acutely aware of the boundaries we had to maintain. Instead, I refined my idea and presented it to my direct supervisor the next day. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon I found myself presenting my concept to the executive board, including Alexander. Standing in the boardroom, I felt a flutter of nervousness as I met Alexander's eyes. But as I began my presentation, my confidence grew. I outlined my idea with clarity and passion, fielding questions from the board members with ease. When I finished, there was a moment of silence before the room erupted in applause. The project was greenlit with me at the helm. As the board members filed out, offering congratulations, Alexander approached me. His eyes shone with pride, and I could see him struggling to maintain a professional demeanor. Later that evening, as we celebrated my success in the privacy of Alexander's apartment, we reflected on how far we'd come. The challenges we had faced, both personally and professionally, had only served to strengthen our relationship and our individual careers. As the product development project progressed, my leadership skills shone. I managed my team with a blend of creativity and pragmatism, navigating inevitable setbacks with grace and finding innovative solutions to complex problems. My colleagues, who had once viewed me with suspicion, now looked to me with respect and admiration. The day of the product launch arrived, bringing with it a whirlwind of activity. The atmosphere in the office was electric as employees from all departments came together to support the release. I stood at the center of it all, coordinating last-minute details and rallying my team. As I watched the live stream of the product announcement, surrounded by my colleagues, I felt a profound sense of accomplishment. The audience's reaction was overwhelmingly positive, and early sales projections exceeded all expectations. In that moment, I knew that I had truly proven myself not just to my colleagues or to Alexander, but to myself. In the weeks that followed, as the success of the product became undeniable, I found myself once again in Patricia Hawkins' office. This time, however, the atmosphere was markedly different. Patricia informed me that in light of my exceptional performance and the undeniable success of the product launch, the board had unanimously decided to promote me to the position of Vice President of Product Innovation. In her words, a clear message that my success was earned through my own merit, independent of my relationship with Alexander. As I left Patricia's office, my head spinning with the news, I found Alexander waiting for me in the hallway. His smile was warm and genuine as he congratulated me, maintaining a professional distance, but unable to hide the pride in his eyes. We both knew that this moment was as much a testament to my individual achievement. That evening, as we stood on the balcony of Alexander's penthouse, the city lights twinkling below us, we allowed ourselves a moment to truly celebrate. Alexander wrapped his arms around me, pulling me close. The journey hadn't been easy. We had faced scrutiny, doubt, and numerous obstacles along the way. But standing there, basking in the glow of my well-deserved success, we both knew that every challenge had been worth it. Our relationship had evolved into a true partnership based on mutual respect, shared ambitions, and a deep, abiding love. We had proven that it was possible to nurture both a romantic relationship and a professional one, that love and career success were not mutually exclusive. As we looked out over the city, I leaned back into Alexander's embrace, his contentment wash over me. I thought back to that pivotal moment in his office when I had taken the risk and followed my heart. It had been a decision that changed the course of my life, leading me down a path that was at times difficult, but ultimately deeply rewarding. The future stretched out before us, full of possibilities. There would undoubtedly be more challenges to face, more obstacles to overcome. But we would face it together as partners, as lovers, and as equals in every sense of the word. As the first stars began to appear in the darkening sky, I turned in Alexander's arms, meeting his gaze. The love and admiration I saw reflected there mirrored my own feelings. In that moment, I knew with absolute certainty that I had made the right choice. This was where I belonged, balancing on the exhilarating edge with the man who had captured my heart by my side. The city continued its ceaseless rhythm below us, a testament to ambition, hard work, and the endless possibilities that come when one dares to take a risk. And there, high above it all, Alexander and I stood together, our intertwined lives a powerful reminder that with courage, integrity, and love it is possible to have it all.